All right, step 2, everybody, my on-air laws, okay? Now, these are just things that I think are super important before you record a show, before you talk on a radio, before you record your podcast. These are super important. So let's talk about the mic lip lock. All right, so when you are in front of a mic, it is important that, and I'm going to set it up like this so you can see a little better. All right, it is important that you lock your lips on the mic, meaning that when you turn your head, your lips are still in front of the mic, all right? When I'm looking over here and talking to this person, talking to this guest, looking over here, looking down at my paper, looking up at the whatever, when I'm moving, my lips are locked onto the mic, all right? I'm not doing this. Pay attention. A lot of people do this. Pay attention. I'm not going like this. Oh, man, that's crazy. Yeah, you right. Yes. Yo, wow, whoa, no. Really? I'm not doing that. Because you got to remember that you're recording, you got to stay in front of the microphone. And all microphones are different, so like you don't want to move and you're going in, out, and people are listening to you like, what is he doing? Stay in front of the microphone, right? So just make sure you got the mic lip lock, which is just moving the back of your head, not moving the front of your head. All right, that's the mic lip lock, all right? Number 2, sound check. Now this is super important. I've done so many shows where I didn't do a sound check first. And when I listened back to it, after the guests drove down, flew, spent money, after I got a haircut, after I had somebody write the show up, we record the show. It is the best episode ever. We have so much fun. Afterwards, we're like, oh my God, that episode was amazing. Just to find out that my microphone wasn't even on. Just to find out that the guest microphone wasn't even on. Do you hear me? It wasn't on. It wasn't too loud. It wasn't too low. It wasn't turned on at all. It wasn't on. So we sat there laughing and joking and all of this for the mic to never be on. We never recorded. There's been times where everything was working properly and we never hit record. There's been times where we recorded shows and there was a buzz or there was some sound or some distortion in the background and we didn't know. So always check your levels, always have headphones, always listen to yourself in the mic and have your headphones on over your ears, not off to the side. Now, this is a common mistake that people use. They have their headphones on and they're not listening to what it sounds like. So they just talk later to find out that they was too low, they was too far from the mic, they was too close to the mic, right? And all these different things happened because they wasn't listening, because they was hearing, they heard what was happening. They can hear what was happening in the room, so they just thought, oh, we're cool. They got so caught up in the room that they forgot that they was recording. So this is why I say check your levels, okay? Put your headphones over your ear. And you should not be able to hear the room at all, only what's in the headphones. So if I'm low, I can hear it. Oh, whoa, oh, wait, let me get back in front of the mic. If that person is low, I'm listening. Wait, hey, speak up for me. Get closer to the mic, right? If I play some music, I can hear the music playing. I'm not just assuming. And don't just look at the levels. Now, a lot of people would just look at the levels and they see the lights jumping, so they just assume that it's working. But that can be the music playing and not your microphone. That can be somebody else's microphone playing. That could be anything. So don't just assume. Do not assume, all right? So back to the sound check, and always make sure that you save it as MP3. Now, a lot of us, we will record somewhere, we get the file, we'll go somewhere else, we'll plug it in, and it don't work, it don't play. And that's because they saved it in a WAV file or maybe an MOV file or all these other different files. Make sure you get an MP3 when you save any audio. So it'll play, you can upload it to any app, to any program to edit later. Make sure you always save an MP3, all right? All right, for my next law, I'm gonna use this Sharpie. Now this law is super important. This law is to keep your listeners engaged, to keep the attention of your listeners, and to make sure that what you're saying sounds genuine and yeah, all right? You ever watch a movie and you could tell that the person's acting? You ever watch maybe like an award show or a TV show, you could tell that they're reading from a prompter? You ever hear a commercial and you could just tell that the person is just trying to say it and get it over with because they're trying to get paid because they got to do a commercial? You know what I'm talking about. That's because they're talking from their head and not their heart. If they was talking from their heart, you would feel it. You would feel the passion. You would feel them connect the story to their existence, to their being, that they are speaking these words from their heart, from their existence, that they're using their life force to communicate this message to you. That is speaking from your heart. So if I was to use the Sharpie as an example, if I was to speak from my head, I probably would say something like this. Yo, don't forget to pick up your Sharpie. Those are our sponsors. You can log on to Sharpie.com, grab your Sharpie today. All right, let's keep it moving. It's On Air with Sir, it's whatever, right? If I talk from my heart, you're going to remember this, because I'm saying it from my heart. You may even connect with it because it might have something to do with what's in your heart, right? So here we go. I remember the first time that I was at BET, because I was a host at BET, and I had these headshots. Remember the headshots that celebrities used to sign? And I remember when I got them and I was practicing my signature, I said, I gotta use a Sharpie. It's only official if you use a Sharpie. You know what I'm talking about. You ever see celebrities sign autographs with a Sharpie? And back in the day, they used to have the silver Sharpies, the metallic Sharpies, the gold Sharpies. Yo, what was your favorite color Sharpie? Let me know. Hit me on the gram, at On Air with Sir, okay? But mine was definitely the silver, that metallic Sharpie, man. Signing autographs with that, let me know it was real, and it was just such a moment, man. So, yo, have you ever signed an autograph with a Sharpie? Have you ever had a Sharpie? What's your favorite color? Hit me on the gram, at On Air with Sir, all right? Let's keep it moving. When I come back, I got more, or whatever. Now, that was from the heart. I told a story. I was talking about, the first time that I felt something with the Sharpie. I was talking about feelings with the Sharpie. Now, earlier I didn't say that, And you probably can't even remember the fake commercial I gave you from the head earlier because it wasn't from the heart. So that's my point. Anytime that you have something that you need to talk about that maybe it's something that you're just not into, always talk about it from your heart. And even when it is something that you really want to talk about and you don't know how to deliver it, go into your heart and find a place where it lives and express it from that point of view. When you talk from your heart, people can feel it. So I'm just letting you know. Again, never talk from your head. Always talk from your heart, all right? The giving mindset. Now, it's super important that you understand that when you're on radio, when you're on television, when you're hosting, when somebody is listening to you, they are hoping to receive something healthy from you. They're not there to tear down their confidence or their soul or their spirit or to be judged and things like that. So the best podcasts, the best shows are shows where you give information, where you have that giving mindset, where I want to give you knowledge, I want to give you life, So make sure that when you crack the mic, when you hit that on-air mic, that you're hitting it with the giving mindset. This is important because with the mic lip lock and the speaking from your heart while giving, it's powerful. So these laws are really needed to have a successful, healthy podcast. My next law is to remember that you're a storyteller. To remember to always open up your breaks with a story. So after you do the whole intro, your show position, your show name, and you hop into the show, start off with a story. Remember that we're storytellers. People love stories. They can engage with stories. They can visualize what you're talking about. It is important to just make sure that you become the best storyteller you can, because having a podcast is really about stories and discussions. And even to have a great discussion, you have to always, tell a story, Always make sure that when you're telling a story, you make a point, but never make a point without telling a story. So just remember that you're a storyteller and that the way you tell your story is everything, all right? My next law is always to inform and inspire, never to induce fear, okay? Now, remember that you have a responsibility as an on-air personality, if you're going to be in the media, if you're going to have a podcast, even if you work for yourself, even if you work for a major company, it doesn't matter. To have integrity and to make sure that you're not just saying things to say them on air, that you're not just trying to be the first one to say it, but you want to be the person that actually delivers accurate information, truthful information, inspiring, healthy information. Always make sure that you inform and inspire and inform. That is key. All right, so for my next law, always speak one-on-one. I'm talking to you right now. It's just me and you. Even though there's probably a million people watching this video, it feels like it's just me and you. And that's because of the way that I'm speaking to you. I'm making sure we have a convo, right? I'm speaking to you with regular emotion. I'm taking time to pause, to breathe, to look at you, to speak to you, and to make sure it's a one-on-one. When you're in front of the microphone, there is no person there. It's just you. But you gotta envision the person listening on the other side. You're not talking to millions of people. You don't want it to sound like, you don't want it to be like this. I'm talking to this person and you're just listening. You don't want it to be like that. You want it to feel like I'm talking to you. Even if I am talking to multiple people, I'm taking the time to move around, to look at them, to make sure that I'm talking that they feel me, that it's a one-on-one. All right, now here's my last few laws. Less is more. Now, when I created this, I actually had 20 steps to starting your podcast. And I said to myself, that's way too much, right? So less is more. Even on websites, you ever go on a website, it's like 1,000 menu options. You don't know where to go. Less is more, okay? I also say that to say that when you're talking on your podcast, if you're recording, if you're live, less is more. When you don't know what to say, even if you told everybody your podcast is going to be an hour and you only got 30 minutes, you got 30 minutes. You're done. Less is more. And when you don't know what to say, what do? You do your outro. Remember, study your outro. Get your flow chart, study it. Study your outro. So at any time while doing your show, you got to get out of there. You can say, all right, well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, next week, we got our top 5 ways to forgive right here on Love at First Sight, where love conquers all. I'm your boy, Sir. And yeah, man, we out, right? You can always hop into your outro. So study, and practice your intro, your outro, your topics, your flow chart. Less is more. Even when you're producing your show, less is more. I like doing 5 or 10 minute shows. I don't really like to do an hour podcast or an hour or 3 hours on the radio. That's too much for me. Whenever I do talk breaks, I like to do anywhere from 1 minute to about 10 minutes max. So that's just me. Less is more, and situation awareness. So making sure that you are completely aware of your situation, knowing the lifestyles of your guests so you don't offend them, knowing the weather, knowing the date, knowing the time, knowing where we are as a world, knowing where you are, you know, and just really understanding your situation and your circumstances and just being aware of them is going to be key when having a podcast as well.